Alfonso's here, the godfather of the game. Many years of wisdom, remember his name. Speakers on stage, they'll drop the keys. Unlock your power and seize the breeze.
Thanks for being on the show. You're coming in all the way from the nation's capital to be here, far away. But you're busy. Then you're heading out to Miami, doing some business there, friends, so on and so forth. You've done a lot in your young, 40 years-ish. Talk to me a little bit about how you got started in investing in real estate. You're also an entrepreneur, have some businesses. How did this all happen?
Well, it started, I guess, in my early 20s.
Yep.
I did start a business earlier on, and I was very successful in that business.
What was that business?
It was a clothing store.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, across, actually, nationwide.
Well, you look very handsome today. Yeah.
But it did very well. But what I discovered was that businesses, they fluctuate up and down, and that could have an impact on your income. This is when I turned to real estate. Actually, it was my mentor that told me that real estate, if you look at any successful person, they always have a real estate portfolio. Yeah. So in my early 20s, I started investing, actually 18 years ago.
18 years ago.
I bought a triplex, and I did a refi, and then ended up moving forward. By the end of that first year, I had accumulated a really healthy portfolio, and I never stopped since then.
Yeah, and as successful as you are with creating wealth for yourself, the thing that inspires me most is you grow up in El Salvador, you come here, but raised by a single mom, like I was, and now she lives with you in the Ottawa area. You have the opportunity to be able to take care of her, take care of your two daughters. I mean, that's really what this is all about. I mean, talk about, we're not here just to teach people. I would be doing an injustice and feel gross to my stomach to talk to people about how to make money. I want to share with people how to make money so that we can have the time to enjoy family, friends, take care of loved ones. Talk about, the mindset of why we do what we do.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because when I was growing up, I did go through some dark times where I really had forgotten myself. Actually, I was homeless at 15 years old. And it was the birth of my daughter at 17 that really changed everything for me, because at that moment, I found purpose.
Yeah.
And the purpose was to make my daughter proud of me.
Yeah.
And now she's beautiful, 23 years old, gorgeous, gorgeous woman.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, money can't be the end result for you.
That's right.
Money is a byproduct of doing something you love. I love teaching people. I love investing. I love taking care of my family. I love having the ability to travel all around the world and bring my family to Disney World. We just came back from Greece. It's just an incredible life, but it wasn't about the money.
That's right.
Money is just, something as a result of things that you do.
Yes. I mean, if you didn't go to Greece, if you didn't go to Disney World, but you went for a walk around the block with your daughter, you went for a nice, cheap meal. Studies have been done, and they say we have to be careful as we teach and we create wealth for ourselves. It can help. Don't get me wrong, and it's a lot of fun, and you can help other people, and you can do a lot of third world stuff. But studies do say after basic needs are met, you got to be really careful, because it's not necessarily a direct correlation. Every dollar you make after your needs are met, that's going to bring you happiness. In fact, it can be the opposite if you're not careful, right?
Well, when I was 17 and my daughter was born, they put this little girl in my arms.
Yeah.
It was incredible. I was so happy. Changed my life.
That's right.
And I was flat broke.
That's right.
So money's, you could be unhappy or happy with money or without money. It's really irrelevant. Yeah. I really don't like when people tie those two together, because it's, you can be wealthy and unhappy, and you can also be broke and unhappy. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And what I like about what investing has done for me is the time. Yeah. The time that money has created for me, that financial stability, to have that income, that passive income coming in, doing deals like this. Yeah. It's time that I get with my family, time that I get with my mom. And what happens is everybody's in that rat race, and they forget about the time. They're exchanging their time, their most valuable asset, for money. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, what ends up happening? At 65, then they start to enjoy their life. But sometimes, you know what, you're too old at 65 to start traveling to Greece or enjoying the world.
Well, your health is not always guaranteed, right? Yeah. So, but so thank you for inspiring me and taking care of your mom, and I think that's very important. But you've got a couple of TV shows. You have 2 TV shows that you host in the Ottawa area. You're traveling. I mean, I think last year, I think you said you spend the weekdays with your daughter enjoying, and then on weekends you traveled 40 different places to teach people weekend workshops on how to invest. Wrote a book, all that kind of stuff. So, kind of, what's your 40 now? What's your end goal? What are you trying to accomplish here with this world of investing, real estate, teaching?
Legacy. Yeah. So it's not about the money.
Yeah.
We talked about it. It's not about how many cars I have.
Yeah.
When my grandkids in the future Google their old man Quadra, I want them to see, all the people that I've helped.
Yeah.
And to me, investing is simple, but if you do it incorrectly, it could take away time.
That's right.
Right. So
you're creating another job.
Yeah, exactly. So what I love is changing lives, and somewhere in the future, when my grandkids Google Old Man Quadra, they're going to see all the people that I've helped, all the lives that I've changed, not how many cars did I own, or how many boats, or how many trips did I take.
Yeah.
I want that to be part of my legacy.
Very cool. Okay, so we've got viewers watching the show, The Everyday Investor. They want to learn from Old Man Quadra how to make money in real estate. Today, you said, hey, Rav, you know what? I want to talk to people about how to even acquire the property. We'll go through the numbers.
Yeah.
But even a lot of the money, or all money, not all money, always it's best to make money on the front end,
Absolutely.
on the purchase. And so we entitled this, How to Make Money, with Motivated Sellers. What do you mean by that? Explain what that means. Because I know your heart, this is not taking advantage of, grandma. This is having a win-win solution for both investor purchaser and the seller.
Yeah, so what happens is when people watch a show like yours, the very first thing they're going to do, they're going to go on realtor.ca. Now, what people don't understand, if you go on realtor.ca, this is now you're dealing at you're dealing with properties at a retail level.
Yes.
They've already, and especially if it's a hot market.
Yeah.
There's no, even if it is a motivated seller, that's going to be buffered by the agent. You will never know.
Because the agents put their properties on realtor.ca or MLS as it was once known. Okay.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, how do we find a motivated seller? Well, you have to advertise. You have to put yourself out there to the community that you are to be in a position, if someone needs help, you can help them. And of course, you need to let it be known that you are also an investor.
Yeah.
So that is going to be a little bit part marketing, a little bit part of introducing yourself, and making sure that the people around you know that you are one that is capable of closing on a deal quickly if someone was to be that motivated.
And there's lots of reasons, right? Unfortunately, there's divorce.
The 4 Ds. The 4 Ds, right?
What are the 4 Ds?
Divorce, death, disease, and disaster.
Yes. And
and sometimes all four at the same time.
And you could be helping somebody out by getting them out of a situation. Maybe they got to move country. Maybe they got to do this and that. They need cash now, so on and so forth. Okay, listen. Hey, it's Rob. Welcome back to The Everyday Investor. I'm talking to my good friend Alfonso. We're learning how to make money with motivated sellers. Alfonso, it's great to have you on the show. Again, very inspired of why you do what you do. Take care of mom, take care of your girls. You teach people as you do workshops, 3/4 of the year on weekends, wrote a book, have a couple of TV shows, and you teach people how you can create win-win situations working with motivated people. And like we said, you mentioned the 4 Ds. Say them again.
Divorce,
death,
disaster, disease.
And disease. And for all those reasons, somebody may need to pick up and move, and we come in and help them to be able to do that in a win-win situation, correct? And you've been doing this for years. You have how many doors now, would you say you have? I mean, if you were to guesstimate.
Well, I don't like to say that, but I'll tell you this: it's significant. Well, my focus is
because you have apartment buildings, right? So that's what I'm saying. If you're buying 20-plex, 30-plex, 40-plex, right?
So it's significant.
Yes,
it's significant.
And so when you do that, are you doing this strategy with the past owners of even apartment buildings?
So on apartment buildings, it's even better. I mean, I really want people to understand that if you go and try to negotiate a deal privately, you have, and especially if you know what you're doing. Now, if you don't know what you're doing, you really should be with an investor focus a real estate agent. But once you understand the numbers and you understand the market value and you can go in there and negotiate a deal on your own, it's going to be a lot easier. Number one, in apartment deals, there's going to be the time for financing is longer.
Yeah.
And what happens is everybody's in a rush.
Yeah.
10 days, 20 days. Some of the financing clauses that I have in my deals, they're like 2 months, 3 months.
So you'll see a property, you'll tie it up with a financing clause, because it doesn't really matter what the clause is. You'll tie up that property and say, I need 90 days to do my due diligence.
Yeah.
And then in that 90 days, what happens? What are you doing?
It's the financing. On apartment buildings, the financing is different, right?
Yeah.
You have assessments, you have the
Rent
environmental.
rolls.
Yeah, so there's a lot more to an apartment building. So when you go to realtor.ca, everybody's too eager, and there's people that have cash, and I don't buy a property, cash. I'm using financing, and I'm using other people's money.
My name is Alfonso Cuadra. They call me the Godfather of real estate. I've been in business for over 30 years, in real estate over 26 years. I built a multi-million-dollar portfolio, and now I'm going across North America, talking to people and signing checks. I'm looking for deals because I'm building $1 billion portfolio. Is that you? Let me make an offer you can't refuse.
We just don't have enough information to make this decision. There's too many unknowns, and for that reason, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
You're using leverage.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's easier when you can go in there and buy a deal privately. Man, how do you know if someone's selling? Well, you got to get it into your networks. You got to start, dealing with people and getting your name out in the community that you are somebody that either buys properties, sells properties, it can deal with investors. The biggest issue with a lot of investors, I find, is that they don't get out there enough.
And I like the one thing that you said. I don't want people to miss it. You also, if you are happening to work with a realtor, it's an investor-focused realtor.
Absolutely.
Because, lots of my friends are realtors, but I wouldn't necessarily use them to buy an investment property because they don't have any themselves. And so this is a niche market, investing. And so therefore, on your team, in my personal opinion, you should have, your mortgage broker that invests, your lawyer who invests, your realtor who invests. Would you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. The team is key. Once you start getting out there, people start knowing your name. Like, listen, Rav, he's buying apartment buildings, and when you see someone that has a lot of units, they're not your competition.
Yeah.
At some point, they're going to want to level up. You have the opportunity of acquiring some of those units privately, and that interaction can be easier. You have the VTBs, so everything gets easier when you're just dealing.
Meaning
vendor take back.
Vendor take back, so that the seller or the vendor, same word, they will give you the mortgage instead of having to get it from the bank and so on and so forth. Okay, great. So let's look at one property, and this one's an interesting one. So I want you to help us with this because the property value of this was around close to the 500 mark, but you were able to get it for like 350 or so. And so where is this approximately, and why were you able to get it at such a discount?
So, again, in the community, my name's out there. People know that I am, if you're in trouble, give me a call. I'm the guy.
So point number one, if you want to buy properties undervalued and help people at the same time, market. You've got to market yourself.
You got to market yourself.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And
that's as simple as putting signs on posts, knocking on some doors, doing some web.
You could go out there and do that. I have a 3-meter rule. Everybody within 3 meters of you should know exactly what you're doing. So you get into an elevator, hey, give a business card.
Nice.
If I buy houses cash or close fast, quickly, or whatever.
And so people are watching and say, Alfonso, I don't want to do that. And then you don't have to do that. And you also don't have to enjoy a $150,000 discount on the property, right? Because there's people that will pay market value and they'll still make a return on investment. But you're saying put in some work and then this can happen.
Absolutely.
So again,
or someone that doesn't want to do the work could leverage someone like me, for example.
So you'll do joint venture work as well. So
absolutely.
If Rav has a couple $100,000, doesn't want to do any work, I can give it to Alfonso. You'll put it to work, and then we do a split 50-50 or whatever the case is.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Great.
Because some people don't have it in them to just be out there shaking hands and getting in the elevators and getting uncomfortable.
Yours truly. I mean, I'm now 47. I know I don't look it. Thank you. But I don't want to do that. I want to hang with my wife, my kids, my friends. Should be hitting the gym more than I do. So I don't want to. There was a time where I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And so I would love to give some money to somebody like you. Can you run with it and share a great return on investment for me? So on this property, why were you able to get this for,
the
100,
number
150,000?
one, when you're buying properties and you're trying to discover if it is truly a motivated seller, the number one thing you need to ask is, what is your need?
The need.
The need. What is the need of the seller?
Okay.
If the need is they need all their cash, they need a certain amount of cash, they got to go to Tahiti, you need to start putting together a deal based on what they need.
Yes.
You see, everybody's focused inwards, like
What do I need?
What do I need?
Yes.
But what I want is, how can I go out there into the market space and build value, help people? And so the need for this particular seller was the fact that they were going to go through a foreclosure.
Power of sale.
They would have to go through a bankruptcy afterwards. I mean, that's a huge.
So they wanted quick close and quick cash.
Yeah, they'd say, you know what, I want to be out.
Okay.
So they waited. They could have called me not an hour, but a year earlier.
Yeah.
Before all this, but people, they don't.
Of course, and they don't know what to do, right?
Exactly.
They don't know what to do.
Exactly.
Okay, so on this property, you picked it up for how much?
$340
$340,000, and where is this approximately?
in Ottawa.
In Ottawa. So you bought it for $340,000, and what was our
private sale, right? So it's a private deal.
Private deal, so we could get rid of the commissions and so on and so forth. Because on this, the commissions on 5% would have been around 20 grand or so.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of background what's going on here. So the seller acquired this property. Number one, she overpaid when she bought it. Number two, there was issues with the property. Number three, the tenants walked all over her, right? So there's a lot of people.
This was an investment property for that.
Yeah, it was
she wasn't living in it.
No, it was a triplex.
Okay.
So she, and if people watch a show like yours and say, I want to go out and do this, I really suggest that you really get with the professionals that can really help you put these deals together.
Yeah.
What happens is, the tenants will take advantage. Nobody was paying. Everybody had left. Yeah. The bank took over. They put in their own property management. So the property was completely vacant.
God, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I had to make a decision.
So no wonder she's going to go bankrupt soon because she has no funds to be able to.
Exactly.
Okay.
So she was she was getting sick because of this deal.
Of course. The stress.
And at the same time, family issues, and so this is not something that she wanted to do.
Okay, so let's go to the numbers. So $340 purchase price. Down payment is how much?
68.
68,000. So that's around what? The 20%? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That we put down. Closing costs is how much?
About 11,000.
11,000 for legal fees, lane transfer, and then you put a little bit of lipstick it needed. You need some renovation.
So the renovation was very simple.
Yeah.
Clean, patch, and paint.
Okay, how much?
About $1,500.
$1,500. So if we add those numbers up, so you're in for $80,500. I have, and then there's 4 ways we're making money on this. So of course we have cash flow. So how much is?
So this is something very interesting because her income was about $30,000 a year.
Yeah.
Now it was valued, it could have been worth a 4 or 5, but we always go on the income. So I was able to increase the income by better management, cleaner, nicer place, and attract better tenants.
Yeah.
So I went from $30,000 a year to $54,000 a year.
Total. Okay, and so break it down for me. So cash flow is how much?
So our cash flow here on this is $11,750.
Okay, so about $1,000 a month, just shy of. Somebody's paying down your mortgage. How much in a year?
About $9,700.
$9,700 is principal. Somebody's paying it down, and then of course it naturally inflates in price.
Absolutely.
So what did you say?
So I went on the new market value.
Okay.
So we after I put in the new tenants, I brought in the new income.
Yeah.
Because really, when it comes to multi-units, it's really based on the income.
Of course.
So we brought it in. We got it evaluated about $485.
$485.
So the new
amazing.
So from the new market value of $485, we got about appreciation about $14,500.
14,000. And what number percent did you use on that? 3%. So you increased it.
If you know the Ottawa market right now, we're experiencing 5, 6, 8%.
I appreciate you being conservative. But this is what's crazy. They valued it you only put in $1,500.
Yeah.
They valued it at $485 and you bought it for $340.
Yeah.
So you have a lift here of $145,000.
But it really comes from the new income.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Right?
I get it, right?
Because even if they did value it, but if the new income cannot support the new debt,
yes,
I wouldn't do it.
But this is crazy because what you're making is $181,000.
Yeah.
Whenever you want to find out the ROI, you take the profit, $181,000, you divide it by what he's in for, $80,500, and so when you do that, you're getting a return of over 200%. 20% plus. If I took that 145 out, my return is still 45%.
Yes.
So this is the kind of stuff you're teaching people.
Absolutely.
People can call you, get some advice, some coaching, that kind of stuff.
So let's go back to the deal. So we have it's 340.
Yeah.
We at the very beginning we had new debt of 272.
Yeah.
272,000, and then we had the new value of 485. We discharged the old debt. We put in new debt of 388. Which is the 80-20 loan to value based on the new valuation.
New value.
So the difference of that, so I'm coming out of this deal with 116,000.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Join us for our 10th and biggest Expand Investor Conference. And this year, this November, we are doing it in Calgary, Alberta. Yeah! And it's gonna be a big one. And I want you to go and get your tickets right away. Our Expand Investor Conference, our 10th edition of our Expand Investor Conference is happening in Alberta. Get your tickets right away.